Jon Huck is a comedian, actor, and writer. He performs all over the country, has appeared on Comedy Central's Live at Gotham. Currently, you can see Jon as Sam, as Grim Reaper without a clue on his series My Death Co. He has appeared in several independent movies, a number of national commercials, and portrayed a handful of characters during the run of MTV's show Punk'd, which that's a huge throwback for me. Jon, the stage is yours.
Thank you so much. I see you guys have 2 hours booked for me, so everyone buckle up. This is gonna be. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing 2 hours. If you guys want, I left my chat open, so if anybody has any questions, comments about anything, or want me to answer or address, I will. I mean, let's be honest. Zoom shows are weird for comedy. I think it's perfect for what you guys are doing. You can, minds can meet across the universe essentially. But comedy is a little bit weird on Zoom shows. So even if I bring you like all the energy I have, it could still come across as I'm just, going at you with all the gusto of a hungover substitute teacher. Really, your real comic couldn't be here today. Pass out some joke books. You guys can read from those quietly. And I'm going to put your head down when you're done. I'm going to go out back and smoke cigs and think about where it all went wrong. I feel like that is, even if I were to, I mean, I'm not going to be doing cartwheels or anything, but even if I were to give that kind of energy, I feel like it could still come across as a little bit flat. So, and also, Chris was like, oh, and if you want to set up, and then other people are getting emails about setting up. And I was like, oh, are we supposed to have displays? Like I got a flashback to my science project in middle school. Just like I was the kid who I learned about, the project is due when? Okay, yes, I'm listening. I'm paying attention. I'm writing nothing down. I will take none of this home with me. Thank you. Thank you. And then you wake up the morning of and someone's like, hey, did you do your science project? And you're like, what? And you have no idea what to do. You're like, here's an old shoe. I don't know. So I don't have a setup. I have this thing behind me so you can't see how bleak my closet door looks, essentially.
Looks great.
Thank you. Appreciate it. And then I know Chris said stick around for a few laughs. That seemed like we're setting the bar a little high. This is more like a TED Talk where Ted forgot to show up, so he sent his friend. It's like a sitcom. Ted couldn't make the TED Talk, so he sends his weird friend who then somehow manages to get the whole company behind Ted's idea. I did some, and don't worry, I might look off screen and it might seem like I'm looking at a piece of paper or notes, but I'm a professional. I would never do that. I strictly have a drawing of a house that I like to look at to remind me why I do comedy because of all the money I make. Very minimal research on my part. I am not a research comedian, so I had to ask what SEO meant. And I asked Carissa to give me an enthusiastic definition of it. Like, just so, just be excited about what you do. I feel that's important. I don't care what you do, wherever you do it, be excited about it. I mean, unless you're doing something evil, then don't be so excited. But Carissa says that, let's see, well, how did she describe it?
How did I describe it?
This is good. It's good. I have it. It's, SEO specialists make websites more visible to people, improve rankings on Google, and help drive tons of traffic to your website.
Hey, not bad.
But then you put an exclamation point, and that's how we know it was an enthusiastic answer, because it's just the words by themselves, not as enthusiastic. But also, I guess it's impressive that you found me, Carissa, because I have never tried to make my website more visible to anybody. I don't know.
How ironic.
My career is Benjamin Buttonsing. I started big, and now I'm just like, I'm going to just perform in my closet for no one. How does that sound? Moving backwards. I just like telling jokes to the ether. In my defense, though, I'm not good with computers, and I don't have a math brain. Like, I assume you guys are part cyborg or part adding machine or part something where you can see and figure out equations. You have like a meth head brain going on, but it's like there's more equal signs in there, and you're not sanding so much furniture at like 4 a.m. or whatever. Or maybe you are, but it's for a real good project, not because you're on meth. But I feel like I numbers aren't my strong suit, but I got a degree. So I got a degree in English, but words aren't my strong suit either. Business, I thought was spelled with 2 5s at the end, and that was too much math. So I'm just like, maybe I'll learn about words. I have no idea. So I don't know as much as you guys, but I feel like you also probably have to have a good sense of humor about what you do, or I imagine you might go insane. I don't know. Carissa was like probably worried that I wouldn't be able to come up with material about what it is you guys do. And she turned me on to some SEO jokes, which I read. There were 20 of them. And that's probably 19 and a half too many. But I think these are only specific to you guys. I didn't understand them. Some of them seemed off, but the top ones for me that stuck out: what do you call a game where touching the person makes you not it, or makes them not it? And the answer is alt tag. Yeah, you're laughing because you find the humor in that. I don't understand what it means. Alt seems to be a word not associated with anything good anymore. It doesn't seem to be a positive word. Alt tag is very, I don't know. Proud tag. I don't know. That's just, we're getting too political. All right. And then what are 2 favorite animals of an SEO? Panda and a penguin. Does that make sense? One animal has problems reproducing and the other mates for life. It's a very mixed bag of messages I'm getting from you guys. What does an SEO drink to build muscle? Link juice.
Yeah.
Okay, someone says yeah. Okay, so is that some kind of brain steroid? Like, do you guys all have Barry Bonds brains? What's like your heads are just getting bigger and bigger? It seems illegal, is all I'm saying. An unfair advantage. Maybe that's why you're smarter than me. Why did the SEO cross the road? He wanted to be hit with traffic. You know who has 2 thumbs and wanted to be hit with traffic after reading those jokes? This guy. I admit I'm pretty bad with computers. I have no idea. That will conclude the SEO portion of my set. I don't know anything.
Thank goodness.
So I'm bad with computers. I don't know how to. I'm old and I don't have kids. So like kids are usually telling their parents how to do things. I don't have anybody in my corner to do that. My cousin called the other day. She was like, "Hey, surprise!" My cousin's from Illinois, where I'm from. She says, "Surprise! I'm driving through Los Angeles with my daughter, and I thought I'd stop. We could have lunch and hang out. Maybe you could show us some cool sights because the kid would love to see Los Angeles." And I'm like, "Oh man, that's great. Love my cousin. Love my cousin's kid. She's smart, funny, empathetic. Nothing like I was when I was 16. Surprise! I was a piece of shit. But she's a solid kid, and I think about, oh yeah, a trip to Los Angeles from Illinois at age 16. It could be life-changing. Let's show her some cool stuff." Then I kind of start to panic. I don't know what's cool. I don't know anything. Like I said, I don't have kids. I don't know what's neat, hip, cool, groovy. I don't know what words they use anymore. No idea. And so as I'm in the middle of this kind of meltdown, I realize, oh, I don't need to know anything. I have a computer. Google has all the answers. So like a crazy old man, I sat down on my computer and Googled, where do 16-year-old girls hang out? And then the auto text pops up and says, near me. And I'm like, well, yeah, gas is expensive. I don't want to be driving all over the place. Then I pressed enter like a true idiot. And as soon as I did that, all the rules of society came flooding back to me. And I was like, oh my God, a man in his 40s with no children probably shouldn't be Googling anything to do with children. And I will say, though, you know what happened when my cousin and her kid showed up in my apartment that afternoon? I'm actually asking you if you know what happened. I wasn't there. I immediately reported my computer stolen. I drove it to Arizona and I whipped it to the Grand Canyon. I did not need the FBI kicking down my door, or worse, Chris Hansen leisurely strolling into my kitchen with a clipboard
Right.
in which, like, is it John? Yes. And the email is just the tip at Hotmail. Like, oh my God, that was a joke email from college. Just take me to jail. Just take me to jail. Let's just end it here. Shouldn't be around technology, is my point. I'm sorry if I seem tired. I have not been getting the proper amount of sleep that I like to get. I don't need a lot of sleep, but I do need some. And where I live, the communal washer and dryer to my entire apartment complex backs up to my living room wall. So I can hear people doing laundry all hours of the night and day, which is not a big deal if you're washing human laundry, shirts, t-shirts, pillowcases, socks, stuff like that. New neighbor moves in. She doesn't really understand that. Every 2 days, she's like, what? It's 3:30 in the morning. This is the perfect time to wash a load of zippers, nickels, and drill bits. It's like, I'm sorry, what's happening out there? Are you drying a robot? What are you? No. Just my belt buckle collection. Don't worry. Only got 2 more loads, spark plugs and old bike pedals. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Not trying to have a society or anything. A lot of cultural shifts lately. A lot of things been going on the last couple of years. And for the most part, I'm all for them. I will say in these shifts, I have, I don't know if you guys can hear that. There's leaf blowers outside going crazy. So I apologize. I don't know what to do about that. I open my door like, I'm trying to do a 30-minute Zoom comedy show at 11 o'clock in the morning. Like, yeah, thanks. Good luck with that. But my point is, sorry, a lot of cultural shifts, a lot of things happening. And in those shifts, I've sort of found myself lost about who I am. Like I would say I'm having an identity crisis, I think is the easiest way, which is pretty common for people my age, you know. But I think it's been brought on by all this stuff going on now. And I feel like in these cultural shifts, you know, I've lost who I am. Like I used to use a phrase that I could just meet someone, describe myself, one quick phrase, let them know who I am, what I'm about. They could see me and understand what they were dealing with. And that phrase was bad boy. I would say, hi, I'm John. I'm a bad boy. And now people would see that, they'd hear it, they'd look at me. Yeah, up and down, he is a bad boy. I know exactly what I'm getting. Now, I see people crying because they're weeping. They don't know what bad boy means. Now, if you don't know what bad boy means, don't be embarrassed. Don't be shy. It's okay. Just think handsome, rugged leader of men, I think would be a good way to just describe that. But so I would say, hey, I'm a bad boy. And people would know, they would get it. And my wife's a little bit younger and she's a little bit more in tune with society and what's going on. She said the other day, she's like, hey, I don't think you should say bad boy anymore. And I was like, well, why not? She said, one, it's kind of embarrassing when we're out in public. And I was like, okay, obviously she's kidding about that. She's a jokester. But then I was like, well, what do you got? Why can't I say bad boy? And she's like, well, you know, you're a man, grown man in his 40s. You got gray in your beard. Your ball bag dips into the toilet water when you sit down to take a dump. You're not a boy anymore. You're not a boy. You're a man. You're a weird, creepy, old, wet, ball saggy old man. Like just stop saying bad boy. And I was like, okay. So to her point, I'm too old to say bad boy. To my point, she could have said that without all that other shit. But fine. So I don't want to stand in the way of progress. That's not who I am. I want to think of myself as progressive and we're moving forward. So I'm fine. I won't say I'm a bad boy anymore. The only problem I have is that I won't say I'm a bad boy, but I don't want to say I'm a bad man. That just sounds terrible, right? Like, hi, I'm a bad man. I'm John. I'm a bad man. I'm a bad man. Ew. Yeah. And I'm not a bad man, right? John Wayne Gacy was a bad man. Ted Bundy was a bad man. All right. I'm not either of those guys. Although I did dress up like a clown and lie about being a lawyer once, but that was at a Halloween party and no one got murdered or laid, but it was a party. It was fun. My point, I'm not those guys. My version of bad man is like coming over to a dinner party, clogging your toilet and trying to blame your kids. That's my version of bad man. Like, hey, there's a mess in there. I think it was Sarah. What? Sarah's 3.5 months old. Well, I don't know. Stop feeding her Budweiser and Thai food. It looks disgusting. Like, that's my version of bad man. Like, I don't have. So I don't know what to do. I can't call myself a bad boy. I don't want to call myself a bad man. I think the easiest way to describe myself to strangers at this point is to say that I am a perfect combination of Nikki Sixx and Jesus. That would be me. And if you don't know who those gentlemen are, I can explain. But again, people were crying. Didn't realize this was going to be so sad. Nikki Sixx, co-founder, chief lyricist, bass player for the band Motley Crue. In the height of Motley Crue's fame, in the mid to late 80s, at the height of the band's fame, Nikki Sixx shot up so much heroin into his veins that he overdosed and he died. Clinically, legally dead for 2 whole minutes. Paramedics came, got him, threw him in the ambulance, worked on him, brought him back to life. When Nikki Sixx got to the hospital, he realized he wasn't dead. He checked himself out of the hospital. He went home and he did more heroin. You guys, that is so me. Okay, that is me. Now, not with heroin and my veins, but definitely with the roof of my mouth and Captain Crunch. I cannot stop eating this cereal, and it is tearing up the inside of my mouth like crystal meth. My dentist the other day was like, "What is going on in here?" And I checked myself out of that dentist appointment. I went home and I ate more Captain Crunch because just like Nikki Sixx, I'm an untamable stallion that will not be tamed. Okay. And Jesus, a lot like Jesus. I've never healed anybody. I'm not a good carpenter, but I have a beard. And in 2020, I wore a robe and sandals for a really weird amount of time. And my mom, just like Jesus's mom, has never had sex. Hey, give it up for my virgin mom, everybody. I'm a miracle, and my brother is a miracle. Just two weird, fat, 11-pound miracles. Okay? It truly is a miracle that my mom has put up with us for this long. A lot of personal growth for me. I don't know if that's coming across. A lot of personal growth. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm realizing I left the chat and I'm not even looking at it. And people are like, oh. Again, technology. Hey. Personal growth, like I was saying. A lot of personal growth. I didn't want to come out of this year the same hot, sexy John I was when it started. So I feel like, and I know deep down I have about 45, maybe 50 years left of just getting by on my looks alone. So I know I have to kind of start developing a personality or be someone who's worth being around. And I've worked on myself, done a lot of work, and I can feel and see the growth paying off. And I think that's exciting when you can see the work, right? Like just the other day, I was out in public, a lot of people around, crowded area. I was out in public in this area for about an hour and a half. Okay. In that time span, I held in 37 farts. Right? I don't know if you want to stand up to clap, if you want to, I don't know, yell, whatever you want to do, scream. I mean, look, I let out 9, but I held in 37. And that is something I would not have done a year ago. That is growth. That is personal, mental, biological. That is growth. Okay. I know now as I age that one rancid toot in the middle of a food court could ruin somebody's day. I get it. But also at the age, fully aware that farts don't always show up alone, right? Sometimes they're knocking at the back door with a +1. There's no +1 on that invite. It's like, hey, thought we had a deal, farts. What are you bringing extra people to the party for? In case that wasn't clear, talking about accidentally crapping my pants. If you're under 40, just know it's a real thing that possibly happens to you as you age. But personal growth, look, I mean, the way I see it, and this is like my TED talk of it, is we're all trying. None of us are done, even with all that personal growth. I know I'm not done evolving. I know I'm not done becoming the person I want to be. And I don't think anybody is. We are all works in progress, which I feel is something we need to take into consideration. We need to be kinder to each other, and we need to be definitely kinder to ourselves. We can always be our worst critics. We can be mean to ourselves. It's like we need to accept ourselves, and we need to accept other people, and we need to figure out how to get along, because this is really all we've got, right? But right now in this moment. But I also feel like we are two things. We are humans and we are beings. And I feel like we are works in progress. And I know that because I can't get the humans and the being in me to line up, right? It's very complicated. Like I know, I think about it like waves in the ocean. When you think about a wave in the ocean, a wave is its own individual thing, its own particles, its own molecules, right? It's its individual thing. It's unique. It's its own. But it's also connected to every other wave in the ocean by way of the water. So it's unique and individual, but it's also connected to the water and every other wave. And when the wave comes in and out, right? When a wave forms and then it breaks, that water doesn't disappear when the wave breaks. It just goes back out into the ocean, mixes it up with some more water, and starts another wave, right? Over and over again. And that's us. That's why our breath sounds like the tide coming in and out, right? We are our bodies, the human in us, right? We're like the waves coming out of the universe's eternal energy. And when our bodies are done, when we're done with our bodies, our energy doesn't disappear. It goes back out of the universe, mixes it up with more energy, and starts it all over again. It's an endless process that will go on and on forever, right? And I know I can't get the human and the being in me to line up. I know that, right? Because as a being, as a being, I want to cultivate and spread as much patience as I possibly can, because I know that patience breeds kindness, and the universe needs more kindness right now, right? As a human, I think that anyone who drives slow in the passing lane should be decapitated, have their head put on a spike, have those spikes line the highway, light them on fire as a reminder to other drivers to not do that anymore. So it's really just patience and lining up the human and the being in us, guys. That's my TED Talk.
Amen.
Beautiful.
Do you guys, is your industry drug test?
They should.
They should. Why? Is it because what would be the drug that would be tested for? Like what drug? Like I feel like what you guys do, like meth might be, like some sort of speed might be applicable.
Speed, maybe.
What's
I don't
that?
know. What do you think, David? Speed?
Every day, part of my morning routine.
Well, I mean,
do some yoga, do some meditation.
Well, I feel like I'm fortunate. I don't live in a industry that drug tests, but I work in an industry that drug tests. But I will say I live by one life rule, and it's a solid life rule. I feel it's very helpful. I don't do drugs. That is the only life rule I really have. I don't do drugs. Now, obviously, you look at my face, you can probably smell my apartment coming through here. Obviously, I smoke marijuana. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about drugs. I don't do drugs, right? Okay, I definitely take some shrooms every once in a while, the occasional hit of LSD, but I'm not going to do drugs, right? Aldehyde in high school. I'm not going to do drugs, though. Definitely do a nitrous balloon or 5 for 20 because that's a great deal, but I'm not going to do drugs, right? I don't think marijuana is a drug. I feel like weed is not something that we can classify as a narcotic, right? I feel like weed is a medicine that I prescribe myself in very heavy doses in order to keep me sane. It works. It works. When I'm online every day just doing my thing, and I got to go on social media, and I see people who just only repost other people's stuff and just write this or I can't even. And that's all they ever do over and over and over again. Those people drive me insane. But instead of going to their page and typing out a manifesto of why I think they're unoriginal, hacky, their grammar is shit, their social skills are garbage, I smoke a joint, I calm down, and I'm my own goddamn business. And I feel like that is a medicine more people in this country could use. This.
Yeah.
I can't even. And there's a contingency of people, maybe you're out there, that feel that weed is a gateway drug, that it will lead to harder drugs. If you smoke marijuana, you will eventually become Nikki Sixx, which there's no evidence to that. There's zero scientific or medical evidence to that. Marijuana at its very best is a gateway to enlightenment, and marijuana at its very worst is a gateway to van life, right? I mean, there's really no downside. What I'm saying is I can't stop getting high and watching van life videos, guys. I want to live in a van so bad, and you're not going to believe this. My wife, not into it. Crazy, right? Yes, I'm by the river, wherever. You can park it anywhere. But the river's a good start. And yes, I know what that is a reference to. I feel like this van, like I have a friend who's constantly talking about doing weird sex stuff with his wife. I don't want to get too graphic, but he's always like, he's talking to strangers on planes about it. He's ruining dinner parties. He's always showing us the porn on his phone. Like, this is what I want to do. And it's off-putting and disturbing. And I realized the other day, that's me with van life videos. I'm just talking about it. Hey, have you seen that? People are like, what? We don't care. Get out of here. You're a grown man. What's wrong with you? I can't. I feel like my wife would rather I cheat on her than ever look at a van with a bed in it again. Like my friend, he sneaks around with his computer. He watches this porn. His wife comes out. What are you doing? And she thinks he's cheating on her. I got to wait for my wife to go to bed. I don't know. Go get the laptop out, turn the lights down, get a candle going, get on YouTube. Put some headphones on. Oh, yeah. Daddy like a swiveling captain's chair. Ooh. You get under there. Show me that gray water tank. Oh, my God. Those solar panels. The wife comes out. What are you doing? I'm cheating on you. You better be. Like, she doesn't want the truth, guys. She doesn't want the truth. I want van life, too, right? It seems so freeing. I'll watch all these van life videos, and then there's always a van life video in there that's like, the 12 negative things about van life they never tell you. I'm like, skip. I don't need to know that right now. Let me get out there and find that out for myself. A lot of people's doctors and scientists say you can't overdose on marijuana. Thanks, doc. Did my own research there. I don't think you're not gonna Nikki Sixx it, but there's varying degrees of overdose, right? Even for marijuana. I got a little baked before a hike the other day, right? Maybe a little too baked. Got out on the trail, thought 2 deer were making fun of me. Panicked a little bit, got uncomfortable, but as I snuck up closer, realized it was 2 burnt out tree stumps. And they were actually complimenting my cargo shorts. We had a good laugh. It was quite funny. And then I did have a situation where it was a more serious, I would say, overdose. I forgot how fingers worked. Got so high, I forgot how fingers worked. I got my hand stuck halfway in putting on a glove. And not like a rubber glove or a small baseball glove or anything like that. Like a winter glove, a glove I owned, a glove I put on before. And I got all my fingers and my thumb stuck in the ring finger of the glove. But I don't know if I thought it was a mitten or what, but I got it stuck in it, and it was like really in there, like finger cuffed in there. And I was like, oh. And I spent 10 solid minutes really trying to figure out, like, why I was trying to put gloves on in the first place. I was inside. The Winter Olympics were over. I wasn't watching hockey. It was like 90 out. Why was I? And then I blew my mind, so I had to sit down, and then I had to think really hard about how I was going to eat 2 bowls of Captain Crunch with my hand like this. Actually, a gentle balancing, some gentle spooning, and not the kind of spooning that leads to sex when you're dating and leads to nothing when you're married, like an actual spoon with a spoon. And then I finally got the glove off, and I told my doctor about it. I was like, I think I overdosed on weed. I got my hand stuck in a glove. And she's like, oh, no, you're an idiot. That's what that was. Like, oh, okay. But I think now the thing is I live by two life rules. I don't do drugs, and fuck gloves, guys. No one needs gloves. Get them out of here. They're evil. Just kidding. Wear gloves if it's cold where you are. Got to tell people. I did go see my doctor the other day, though. She's got a good sense of humor, but I was getting headaches, crazy headaches I'd never gotten before. And I went to see her, and she, launched into questions about things I knew she was going to ask, right? I had lies prepared for all these things. I was ready for these, she would, how's the diet? Oh, diet, all broccoli all the time. Yeah. You exercise. Oh my God. You ever seen Rocky IV? I did the log up the mountain thing repeatedly. And then she asked me a question that I was not prepared for. I didn't have any improv ready. I didn't have a script in my head. She just says, glasses of water. And I panicked. I don't want my doctor to think I'm an idiot, but I don't know what to say here. So I pick a number that I think is good, and then I add 3, right? So I say 9, and she goes, oh, 9 glasses of water a day. That's great. I said, oh, a day? What? No. From age 0 to this morning, 9 glasses of water total in my life. What do you got a day? I don't understand. And she's like, well, that's your problem. Shit for brains. You're dehydrated. You're not getting enough water. And it turns out she was right. It's almost like she went to school for this, guys. But now I have a problem. I'm addicted to water. It's an embarrassing, like I used to be a guy, could go out, drink 15 beers, do 6 shots. No problem. No problem for me. Definitely a problem for anyone within a 2-mile radius of me, as I was blacked out and had no idea what was going on and caused issues. The kind of problems that end in an unfinished basement with your friends in folding chairs going, hey, we need to talk to you. But I was like, I just feel like, yeah. So the thing, I can't go on road trips without water. I can't fly without a bottle of water. I got invited to a party the other day. I was like, is there going to be enough water there? The guy was like, stay home. I was like, yeah, you're right. I've become everything I've ever hated. It's ridiculous. But I feel like if I don't drink like 5 to 10 5-gallon buckets of water a day, The next day, I have the headache of what feels like 1,000 hangovers, and I look just like E.T. at the end of that movie when he's laying in the dried up riverbed, like, it's just waiting for the crayfish to take him away, just an albino prune. Like, that's how I feel all day if I don't drink enough water. So what I'm trying to say is water equals hydration. And I'm not a doctor, and I've never played a doctor on TV, but I've been mocked by a few in real life, and that should count for something. Side note on the movie E.T., which I just recently rewatched. At the end, the alien is dying. All the greatest minds in the country, scientists, NASA, military, everyone's there studying the alien. Why is the alien dying? Now, one of these geniuses says, hey, what's this thing been eating? Elliot Bunn saying, what? Reese's Pieces and Coca-Cola. Like, oh my God, you dumbass. Get him a Dasani. He's dehydrated. Maybe SEOs would figure that out. I don't know. Maybe that's the brain we needed in there.
Maybe.
Because definitely the military wasn't figuring it out, I'll tell you that. Speaking of, we're getting, time has flying by? Wow. Time has flown by. Did Nikki Sixx manage to kill himself that time or afterwards? No, he did not. Nikki Sixx is still alive. Motley Crue's on their second farewell tour.
Damn.
Oh, yeah, damn is right. Enough of those guys. Come on. They're playing over a track. It's terrible. I've seen it. I pay money to go. It's frustrating. Don't go see it, please. But then, go listen to old Motley Crue because it's really good. I've got a couple minutes. I don't know how long I can go, but we
go. You have, let's see. Yeah, go for another couple minutes.
Couple minutes. All right. Okay. We'll do this. Well, I had no, that's graphic. I'll do, no one brought their kids, right? I'm just kidding. We'll do this. This is how I'll end it. Did anyone watch The Last Dance, the Michael Jordan documentary?
Not yet.
No. Okay. No, then we won't end there. Mob movies. We'll do mob movies. I love. That's the thing. Over the last couple of years, just being at home, whatever. I watched The Offer, which led me to watch The Godfather again, and I realized that I love those movies. I love mob movies. I think The Godfather, Godfather 2, Godfather 1 again. Casino, Goodfellas. Those movies to me are fantastic. And when I was younger, I used to think it was my not being Italian that kept me out of the mafia. But as I rewatched these movies, I realized it's not it. It's the hugging. There's too much hugging in organized crime. These guys are hugging each other. If you remove the hugging from The Godfather and The Irishman, combined, those movies are 43 minutes long. There's too much hugging. We're always, and I'm not ashamed to admit it, I'm a bad hugger. I don't know. It's an awkward social thing. I don't know. Do I put my hands on your hips? Do I put my hands on your shoulders? Do I put my chin on you? Do I tuck it? Do I just lean into you? Do I thrust my hips? I don't know how to point. And it's awkward. If I did get into the mafia, my nickname would be Johnny Shithugs. After the first hugging mishap, it would be like Christmas party rolls around like, hey, where's Johnny Shithugs? Oof. Oh, what happened? He thrust his hips into Vinny's hips on his last hug. Oh my God, Vinny the chin? No, Vinny the homophobe. Oh yeah, that's probably bad. R.I.P. Johnny Shithugs. My point is, thank you guys for listening. Really appreciate the time.
Thank you so much.
You guys have a great rest of your weekend or week.
Thank you, John. That must have been really, it's really challenging when you're not doing this live for audience feedback, but just know that we really enjoyed it and we appreciate your time, and you had some really great SEO humor in there. And everybody give it up for Johnny Shithugs. Jon Huck. That was super, super fun. Thank you for giving us a break from our workday to have some laughs. We really appreciated that.
Absolutely.
So, you can find John at johnhuck.me, or he's also on Twitter, on YouTube. He's pretty much everywhere, let's be honest.
Everywhere I gotta be.
He is good at technology, whether he, wants to believe it or not. And be sure to come back to this link at 4 p.m. We have Joanna Weeb, who's going to be talking about turning voice of customer into copy. So we'll see you guys there. Thanks, John. Thanks, everyone.